Alright guys, jumping back into League for Dark Matter and Good Morning. Round 8, going to be going against the Luca Goers. So yeah, let's try it out. So we got our guy Ronso and Beseek Ronso to level up. Yeah, should be a good time. Gosh, I'm switching between playing Overwatch and recording Final Fantasy, so like I always make the volume loud for Overwatch and then forget when I put on music to record that it's going to literally explode my ears. So it should be lowered now. That's that's the new intro, me just like complaining about things that I caused and then being like, should be good now. But yeah, jumping into it, we're gonna pass the newbie Ronso, going against the Luca Goers, of course. We do have our guy Ronso and Beseek Ronso to level up. We are gonna pass Beseek Ronso because he is our favorite, and that is only because he has been our least favorite. Right now he's level 96, and our guy Ronso is level 98. So we're really gonna have to heavily favor Beseek Ronso here, and then just get him the same level of our guy Ronso. They probably won't actually meet. Essentially what will probably happen is, like, this is a good example, where Beseek Ronso won't be able to score a goal, and I'll have to pass to our guy Ronso to get a goal. But you know, we're gonna try to favor Beseek. Gonna give it the good old effort. All right, so Abu's going right towards the people he does not want to be encountering. Urga Ronso, and I believe that's Gazna Ronso. That's not going to be good for his health or, you know, anything of that sort. I mean, I guess it's better that he has the ball and we don't. Like, if you really think about it, like, physically being tackled by a Ronso seems like you'd probably have some health issues. Alright, so we're going to have both of them tackle through. Ideally, tackle slope won't trigger the first time, but if it does, it won't disorient us. Okay. That's exactly what I wanted. Ooh, with a tackle 3. Pass is halved. That's actually not going to be important, really, at all, because we don't pass with our forwards. Once Beseek Ronso has the ball, or our guy Ronso has the ball, 90% of the time, we're going to just have them shoot the ball off. We're not gonna play the passing game. Years ago, we would have, and by years ago, I mean maybe 200 episodes ago. We would have played the passing game, but we are new. We're reborn. We are exclusively shooting the ball now. So that's exciting. All right, so we're gonna have Caillou tackle through only because I'm not positive that I could pass over both of them. Well, I'm not positive I'll keep the ball if I get them to tackle through either, apparently. Looks like Caillou able to steal the ball away. Gonna encounter Urga Ronso here. Oh, newbie Ronso, sorry. And we might actually be in a bad spot. Passing to Zaziguado, that's not necessarily who we want to have the ball, but it looks like Zaziguado either is a very low level or they do have high risk on, so we should be good. Perfect. That's what we want to see. Alright, we're going to pass to Beseek Ronso here. Again, favoring him. Just trying to get him the ball and get him a goal and, you know, get him to score his little heart out. Alright, I shouldn't have done the angle there. I know it gets me closer to the goal, but I don't know. It just feels like a bad idea, you know? It just feels like I'm like, maybe I shouldn't have done that. Alright, so Mayu unable to stop us, and we are 2 up. So that's good. That's good. I mean, that's, you know, we're not losing. So that's the first step. Don't lose the game. Second step is don't not have control of the ball. Don't not. We got all the double negatives. Man, this music, I'm listening to Final Fantasy VII remake music, and it's messing me up, man. I'm like, I want to stop playing this and start playing that game now. The Final Fantasy VII remake was so good. Like, oh man, I love that game. It was fantastic. Like, I can't wait for part 2. Yeah. And I think, like, I know people are, like, not super happy about, like, some of the choices made and, like, some of the pacing. And I understand it gets a little bit odd, but, like, I know it's hard to do, but what I do, I literally just treat it like a different game. You know? It's like if someone remembered what Final Fantasy VII was and then just tried to recreate it from memory, you know? Like, and it's pretty accurate, but, this is going to turn into a review. I think I've complained about this before, but, one of the things I didn't like, which I will be honest, I'm not the #1 Final Fantasy VII expert, so I read a lot of reviews, but one point I saw, which was a good point, was the pacing was off. So one of the reasons the original was so good was because you, like, the pacing, like, you're this, like, dude walking around, like, you know, you've got that history, you're learning more about Cloud and, you know, the world and Genova, and, like, you're learning about all these things in the game, but you don't face Sephiroth. You don't, like, you learn about these things, but they don't escalate beyond what they are. But then, like, maybe I misunderstood it, and someone could tell me if I played Final Fantasy VII Remake, you're, like, fighting Sephiroth, which is weird because in that point of the story, it almost feels like you should lose that fight, you know? Like, I would have actually been, like, I don't know, it ruins, because, like, you get the Midgar Zolom, right? And Sephiroth spoiler. Sephiroth kills it in the OG Final Fantasy. And it's kind of this testament of his power. But now, like, no matter what they do in the second half, like, if I see him, I'm like, it's the guy I beat, you know? Like, it doesn't make sense. My idea of it is it should have ended with him if they really wanted you to fight him. And to set it up for the next game, it should have been something like, no matter what you do, you lose the fight. Like, he's super strong, and, like, you could be OP and, like, super strong, but, like, he just does crazy. Like, you know, like, your max level is level 50, he should be, like, level, like, 150. You know, like basically unkillable. And essentially, like, it should end with you losing and then him leaving, you know? And then, like, I don't know. Maybe that's, like, too derivative of, like, the story. Like, that's going too off the rails. But I think he feels like a pushover now. He doesn't feel like a real threat, which is kind of lame. I don't know. I will say, this is not to get rid of my Final Fantasy cred here, because I'm about to. This is coming from someone who I think I beat Final Fantasy VII once, maybe. I might not have actually ever beat it. I've seen the ending and everything, but, like, I haven't played it a lot. Growing up, I played Final Fantasy IX. That was my first Final Fantasy ever. I didn't understand how Roman numerals worked as an 8-year-old. And I asked my parents for Final Fantasy, and they were just like, yeah, Final Fantasy. So they got Final Fantasy X. So, like, that was my experience. My friend played 7 a bunch, and I watched him play it, but I never really played it. So yeah, the first time I actually really played 7 was maybe like 4 or 5 years ago. Maybe longer, like 6 or 7. But, like, it's not been it wasn't a childhood game. More 10 was for me. But yeah, regardless, I'm really excited for the second game. I love how I'm like, it was great, also terrible. These are all the things I didn't like. No, I think that's a good trait, you know. I think it's a good trait when you get real nitpicky with a game, though. And, like, you're like, I don't like this thing, and this thing, and this thing. Because I think it demonstrates you actually cared. Because, like, a good example of a game, like, what was that game called? Gosh, it's gonna bug me. I'm trying to think of the example of the game that didn't really matter, but... I don't know. Whatever, I forget, but the point being is there's games I've played and I haven't liked them, but, like, it hasn't mattered because I just, like, don't care anymore. You know, like, the reason you care so much about, like, and get nitpicky with a game is because overall you liked it, but there was, like, you know, you get real specific. You're like, this thing could have changed, this thing could have changed, all these things. Like, you know, it's healthy to do that, you know. It's like you have 9 steps to it, and you didn't stop at step 3 of, like, this game sucks, I don't care, you know, which is good. Anyways, that was a very, I should have prepped that story. That was a rough description of what I was trying to say. Anyways, end of the game, looks like we win. Basic Ronso level 97, that's perfect. More endurance, block, and HP. No, I love it. I'm here for it. We might finish this weekend. This is uploading on the 13th, but currently it is the 1st of August, so got a bit of time. Looks like Noi Guado is gone and Duran is on the kill Cabiz. I think we have Newbie Ronso. Dude, Basic Ronso with 35 goals. Oh my gosh. What an animal. This is going to be expensive, right? Yeah. Cool. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. And when you come back, we'll be playing more Blitzball. Till next time.